Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and show you. And if you guys have been around for more than a year, we've already talked about this. We can revisit it. Well, we are going to revisit it. But if you haven't been around, this is going to be something very new to you. So here are what we call the brand archetypes. Okay. One thing that will also be very helpful is if you've ever taken the Myers-Briggs personality test, right? If you've heard that term thrown around like INFJ or ENFP or whatever, that's the Myers-Briggs test. And it is loosely based that and the Carl Jung, it's whatever. I just said it in a very Western way. It's loosely based on this. Okay. And again, it's because you're almost giving your brand a personality test. Okay. You want to know what its strengths are. You want to know what you default to. You may also want to know what your voice sounds like, what even down to what it visually looks like colors. Okay. And we're going to talk about different brands that fit into these. Okay. So let's start up here. The innocent. Okay. One of their core core brand pillars is safety. Okay. So if you are a yellow personality, if you are like a lover and you're just like, I'm the mama hen, I just want to love everybody and we're all about peace and like that's safety. Okay. Cause you just want everyone to feel loved and safe and you want to mama hen everybody. Okay. You completely avoid controversy. You want everyone to know that you are the safe space. If they come to you, you can be like, you were just going to be like, that's okay. Everyone has their own beliefs, like you're just very much like, you don't want to offend people. Casey. Then there is the sage. Okay. The sage, their brand pillar is knowledge. Okay. They want to seek knowledge. They respect knowledge. They respect facts. They are like, I want to read, I want to learn, I want to soak in stuff. Then they also want to teach stuff. Okay. That is like the sage. Okay. Their virtue, as you call it, is knowledge. And then there is the explorer. The explorer, their brand pillar is freedom. They want to travel. They're always outdoors. They love nature and just all the beauty there is to see and find in new things. Okay. Then there is the outlaw. The outlaw seeks liberation. They are the rebel. They are the rule breaker. They want to do the antithesis of everything that someone else does in that genre. Okay. So if they're like, so many people do it like this, but we do it differently, or other people doing what I do it like this, but screw that, I do it like that because I'm just a rebel, right? Like that is one of the examples that they give is like Harley Davidson. Okay. They're an outlaw brand. An explorer brand would be like Jeep or Patagonia, something like that. Okay. A sage would be like Yale or Apple. Okay. Innocent, I forget what they did. It was like Dove or something. And they even have different colors that are associated with them. So white is if you are drawn to white, white's a very common color for this. Okay, now we're going to go over here to magician. Magician, they believe that there is power in imagination. So their core is power, but not like how you would think necessarily. It's not like an ascension to power. They are very imaginative, very inventive, and they utilize that to find and derive power and help other people find their power. Okay. Disney is in this category. Then over here is the hero. Their virtue is mastery. So these are the like competitive people. Okay. These are people that, they value mastery of skill, whether it's athletic, academic, the best of the best. These are people who very much, again, strive for more, are very goal driven. And that's what they appreciate. As you can see in here, it's also separated by 4 quadrants and ultimate virtues, this one is leave a mark. Okay. Their impact right here. And that's kind of what liberation, power, and mastery all have in common, is they all want to leave a mark. They all want to create impact. Okay. Whereas this one is in a spiritual journey. It's something that is a greater connection to something outside of yourself, to humanity, to nature, to the interconnectedness of humans, to something spiritual. So now we're going to move into connection with others. Okay. So if you are a very person centered, okay, you might be in here. So if your goal is relationships with other people and connection, then you probably fall into one of these. Okay. So there is the lever, intimacy. Victoria's Secret falls into this. And it's more so, it is a very sensual, but not sexual. It's a very sensual, almost like very feminine energy kind of thing, where, or even, it can even be masculine, but more in a more sensual way, something that's more intimate, somebody who has just a lot of that energy, and they're very flirtatious. So if you are a very flirtatious person in the way that you post, in the way that you carry yourself, you're probably this right here. Then there is the jester. Their goal is pleasure, to bring pleasure to other people, to make them laugh, to make them smile, to joke all the time. To people who are posting TikToks and videos and memes, like they're the jester. They derive happiness and fulfillment from making other people laugh and smile. Okay. And then there's the everyman. The everyman is someone who, no matter how great they are, they just want to let you know they're just like everyone else. Like that's their goal. Their goal is to be like, but I'm just like you. Okay. They're like the common person. And it's because not only do they want to have a sense of belonging, but they want to give other people a sense of belonging. Like, hey, we are all equal. We're all in this together. I'm just like you. You're just like me. No one is greater than the other. Like your goal is to just bring people together because you're like, hey, we're all kind of in the same boat. Okay. So that's the everyman. And I cannot for the life of me recall which brand is in this. I will find that for you guys though. So now we're going to move into here, which is provide structure. Okay. Providing structure. The caregiver role, their primary virtue is service, right? So nurses, teachers, veterinarians, daycare, like child services. So caregiver, again, they pride themselves on service and being available for other people. But what again, they pride themselves on it because it not only gives them structure because they know exactly what to expect, but also to others. It provides them safety and structure as well. Okay. Then there's the ruler. You like having control of yourself and other things. You strive to be the best. So it's a little bit different than the hero because you value the pursuit of mastery, meaning you value other people wanting to be the best version of themselves. And you value that journey of mastering a skill. Okay. Whereas here it is the competitive nature of being the best, of obtaining all that you want, of going after things that are said to be out of reach. Okay. So that is the ruler, right? So it's kind of like if you are told like, oh, that's just too much, or you probably can't have that. You probably won't, that's, think a little bit more closer. You're going to be like, oh, hell no. And you like, just go after it because again, it's all about that control. You want to be able to control your goals, control your destiny. And then there's the artist. They derive it from innovation. So doing new things, doing stuff their own way. So if you are a person who is given rules or are given instructions, and then you are constantly tweaking it and making it your own, if you're given a recipe and you automatically throw it out because you're like, I'm just going to wing it, I'm just going to do my own thing. You very much love and enjoy the creative process. You enjoy creating things. Building things, but again, it's all about the structure. You almost derive sense and meaning from creating something from the ground up because it does give you that sense of control and structure because you were part of creating it. So there is that piece. And again, I have this. So if anybody wants to take another look at it, they certainly can. Now we're going to go look into this one. So it kind of tells you if you're still like, okay, I'm not entirely sure which one I fall into. I'm probably like a mix of a lot of them. We're going to go into some of their goals and their flaws and their skills. Okay, so you might be able to pick yourself out of one of these a little bit easier. So the innocent, the goal is just to be happy and help other people want to be happy. Okay, their flaws is they're often too trusting. They give people multiple chances, probably when they don't deserve it or when they have proven time and time again that they are untrustworthy, right? Again, because they just want people to be happy. So their skill, though, is they are open-minded. They are never ones to cut people off right away. They're always, again, because it is they're giving chance after chance after chance, right? And so one thing I want you to know, and it's something that I've said multiple times just in teaching all kinds of Zooms, is when it comes to personality and it comes to who you are as your character, your greatest attribute is your greatest flaw when you do it too much. Okay. So your greatest attribute, the thing that makes you awesome, is the very thing that you can't stand about yourself, or the very thing that other people can't stand about you because you do it too much. Okay. So it's like your goal is to find that perfect medium. So you'll see right here, they're too trusting, but the positive aspect of being too trusting is that they're a lot more open-minded to giving people more chances, to trying something more than one time, because they're like an eternal optimist. I don't know why they called it the orphan. They're not online with the same wheel, I guess. So then the goal is to belong. Okay. And again, their flaws is they're way too cynical of people and of themselves. They often think, oops, sorry, I see the chat of the 13 ghosts. Oh yeah, Kristen, you found it. Okay, cool. So Krista found the graphic that I've used before. She's going to go ahead and give you examples, probably, I'm sure she will, of of the brands. So the orphan is, they're cynical of themselves and others. These are people who, because they have such a desperation for belonging, they are often cynical of other people, assuming they don't like me, they must be talking about me, they must be, whatever, or they're cynical of themselves, okay? And also, again, because they're constantly wanting belonging, is they're more open because they really want that. They're open to trying new relationships and having new friends and trying out new situations in life, because again, they're more open because of that desperation for belonging. The hero, their goal is also to belong, but however, in a different way. Their flaws are they need to fight. They always need to be fighting for something. This is someone, if you are like doing the Myers-Briggs test, this would be an ENFP, okay, the campaigner. It's me. That's how I know. So the need to fight, you're constantly looking for injustices, looking for the small man to stand up for. You are constantly you're not like looking for a fight, but your natural tendency is to stand up for what's right. So you constantly find things like that. And then your skill is courage. The caregiver is to help others. Your flaws are martyrdom, meaning like you're constantly doing things for other people, but then you have to highlight how you're doing things for other people. And because other people may not be, you're constantly self-sacrificing yourself too. You're like, oh yeah, I'll do this, even though I know it's going to hurt me. I know it's going to overload me. I know it's going to burn me out. I'll do that. I don't know who we know on this team that does that. Not at all. And she's looking away right now. So their skill is compassion. Then you have the explorer. Their goal is a full life. They don't care how they do it. They just want to live a life with no regrets. They want to do all the things. They're like YOLO, all that, right? So their flaws are they're constantly wandering. They cannot focus. It's hard to sit down and accomplish a task. It's hard to see value and structure. They're just constantly looking around and like, oh, all the new things. And their skill is autonomy. They're very independent. Okay. Very independent. They want to go do their own thing. They're always blazing their own path. The rebel, they want to change the norms. They want to just do the opposite of what they should be doing. They want to completely just change everything. It says their flaws are crime. That's a bit aggressive. I think it's just more rule breaking. So they're constantly wanting to break the rules. Okay. if it says like, oh, we do it this way, they're going to be like, I'm going to do it this way, bet. Like they just love breaking the rules. It just makes them feel really good because they feel like at one point in time, I'm going to strike gold and I'm going to do it right. And their skill is wild freedom. Okay, so there's unabashed, like don't give no F's about what anyone thinks. I'm going to do what I want, do it my way, no apologies, right? What's that tattooed? No regats. So the lever, their goal is relationship. They want to just build relationships with people and establish connections. Their flaws are pleasing, so they can tend to be a doormat. And people walk all over them because, again, they just want to do for other people. Their skill is friendship. They are very adept at just kind of making friends wherever they go. And the creator right here is they have a vision. Their flaws are perfectionist. Okay. They strive for the best. And they're like, unless I get it perfect, it's not worthy. I gotta do it exactly how I see it in my head. That can be a flaw in the sense where you can often get stuck in this phase without actually creating or without actually taking action. Their skill is imagination. They have a really broad vision. Their gesture, their goal is to lighten everybody up. Their flaws is wasting time. They tend to waste a lot of time because everything is funny, everything is a joke, nothing is serious. And so their skill is humor. The sage, their goal is wisdom. Flaws, however, are no action. So they tend to get stuck in the books, stuck in the resources, stuck in creating resources, stuck in teaching, that they don't actually do anything. They don't actually take action and build something or do something like that. Okay. They struggle with doing the do because they're so busy wanting to teach things or make things to teach people. Right. Their skill is intelligence. The magician, their goal is to transform something ordinary to something amazing, to make like a Cinderella story. Okay. So, their flaws, they're egotistical. They tend to think that they overestimate their abilities a lot. Their skill is they see everything as a win-win. And then lastly, the ruler, their goal is prosperity. Their flaws, they tend to be very authoritarian. It's my way or the highway. I'm not open to listening to other people. I just kind of want to do everything the way I want. And their skill is leadership. So they tend to strive for leadership roles. However, in order to be a good leader, you got to really keep this in check right here. Okay, so that right there talks about just brand archetypes, and it comes to your personality. So when you ask, yourself, what is my brand? I kind of want you to pick out the 3 pieces that stuck out most to you, the 3 archetypes. And excuse me. And thank you, Krista, for filling those in for me. And then from there, once you figure out what your 3 archetypes are, I want you to write 5 pillars of your brand. Okay. Things that you are passionate about or that you feel are unequivocally part of just who you are. Okay. That you want to add value to the world in. Okay. So for me, yes, I am a mother and I am a military wife, and I know that's part of who I am, but it is not part of my brand. I am not giving parenting advice. I am not always talking about my children. I am not using military spouse as part of my journey. That's just not part of my brand. Okay. Not to say I don't ever talk about my kids or they don't ever show up in my stories, but that's just, people don't come to me for parenting advice. They don't come to me for homeschooling advice. They don't come to me for, oh, my husband's in the military, because that's just not overtly part of what the value that I add. However, part of my brand is most definitely, you got that shit figured out. Oh, you're so cute, because I don't. So one thing that I do, however, is that my brand is very empowering. It is very at creating impact. It is all about teaching people, especially about just kind of the psychology and mental health and mindset. So I'm constantly offering help in that regard. And that's part of the value that go to her. Please do not. My kids are going to be like, no. So I just feel like, if I were to start talking about my kids and start talking about motherhood and start talking about all those things, it would kind of make my audience kind of like, huh? Now, I can talk about mindset and business and all those things as a mom. How do I do those things as a mom, right? I can talk about how I do those things and how I build a business and how I keep my mindset right as a military wife. But that's just not part of who I am. It's just not part of my brand. It's not what I talk about. It's not what I offer value in. So a lot of people, when they're doing their 5, when they're making their brand, they just write like, I'm a mom, or I'm a dad, or I'm a firefighter. And it's like, well, unless you plan on offering lots of value about being a firefighter, don't make that part of it. Okay. Unless you plan on like being Smokey the Bear on your Instagram, don't make firefighter one of your 5. Okay. It might be what your job is, but unless you feel like you were just really passionate about it, and you might want to talk about things like that. And that is perfectly fine. But what I'm trying to tell people is very much clarify what your brand is, that's something you want to offer value in and openly talk about on a consistent basis. So if you put firefighter or mom or grandma or knitting or whatever, and you don't ever talk about those things should not be on your list. Okay. So that's what I mean when it comes to doesn't bark, it's not for me. So that's what I mean by making your 5. Okay. It can also be one of your 5 can also just be part of your brand is, what is your mission? Why are you doing this? What is your mission? Like for me, it's to help empower people. Okay. That's one of my pillars, is to help empower people. Okay. And offer positivity. Okay. And it can just be very different. I know a lot of people have platforms, social justice platforms that they're very, very big on, bringing awareness to certain things. That can be a pillar as well. Okay. Your spirituality or your religion can be a pillar. Things that you're good at. Okay. So that's probably one of the most common mistakes I see when people are doing the 5 pillars of their brand, is they literally just write the first 5 things they can think about that like who they are. They're like, I'm a teacher, I'm a mom, I'm a vet. And again, I think it's because you don't take enough time to really think about the awesome human that you are and like really get down to the nitty gritty of what you have to offer. So you just kind of bare bones basic it. Okay. But I encourage you to dig deeper and really think about the stuff you want to offer. And so that's what I encourage you to do. And why is that? Because you're going to be able to talk so much easier about those things if you are just relentlessly passionate about it. Okay. I know that if I had to talk about motherhood, now I am not like relentlessly passionate about teaching other people about motherhood stuff. So I would struggle to find content. So if you're struggling to find content right now for stuff, it's probably because you've picked the wrong 5 things, or you haven't picked anything at all. So pick things you can just passionately talk about, and never underestimate don't get in your head about the value you think it offers. If you're like, well, I love knitting, but I don't know other people who love knitting. Guess what? When you start talking about knitting and you flipping love it and people see that, guess who you're going to start attracting? Other people who love knitting, So you're right. Your current audience, because you didn't know who you were before this, you're going to find your type. All of the anti-knitters are going to leave, and that's okay. I don't know who's anti-knitting. That's just awful. I don't knit, but I'm not anti-knitting. That's just horrible. So yeah, be you unapologetically and be you loudly, and you will find your people. Your people will start finding you, because that's also, if you haven't read the book Superfans by Pat Flynn, I highly encourage you to, because that's one of the things he talks about. The best way to create superfans is to talk about things that are so microscopically you, like it's you under a microscope, that almost like they feel like they know you. Okay. Something that like, this is before I branded myself, as I didn't realize I was like accidentally branded this way, but glitter and Bath and Body Works. And you can tell because every semi-annual sale that comes around, there's this picture of this woman's room that's got 5 million candles and everyone sends it to me. Courtney, is this you? Courtney, is this your closet? Right? Everybody, okay? When they see this glittery, sparkly Mercedes driving by at nighttime, they're like, oh my God, why did I think of you when I saw this? It's like people are going to send you stuff. We all send Tracy Harry Potter literally anything. Okay. We know that is her thing. Okay. And Friends, we know that Friends is Alicia's thing. We know Stella Rose wine is Elizabeth's thing. Okay. Like, but don't no one get her wine. Girl don't need no wine. Okay. She got plenty. So, it's what is your thing? Because when you find your thing and you talk about it continuously over and over and over and over again, people are going to be like, wow, I thought of you. If you don't know who you are and you don't put who you are out there specifically enough, no one's going to think of you. And I don't mean that I don't mean that to make anyone depressed. It's not that no one's thinking of you, but I mean your presence, your essence, your voice. I have people tag me in other people's lives and they're like, why does she remind me of you? Again, they know my brand essence and my brand voice. Okay. And so that's what I really want to encourage you guys to do. As soon as you do that, you find your sweet spot. Okay. Also, I know it sounds super silly, but I'm always going to relate everything to psychology, which is pick colors and schemes and hues and things that are very you. Because when people start seeing those colors, that kind of combination, they know exactly who it is. When I say white and pink, almost everyone's going to default to Victoria's Secrets. Okay. When I say red and white, all my girls know that's Target. Okay. They're like, oh yeah. So even colors. Okay. I know when I see Tracy's photos, they are going to be like moody and dark and grainy with earth tones, some yellows and oranges and like dark charcoal grays and browns. Like, I know that's what I'm going to see. I know when I see Alicia's, it's going to be really bright and white and copper tonish, right? So it sounds so silly, but that is how you create heightened brand awareness. Okay. Which is, yeah, you can wear it's because you are true to your brand. It's just kind of like if you were to see someone who's like a bubblegum Barbie and all of a sudden she's wearing like patent leather leggings and like a biker vest, you're going to be like, whoa, what happened to you, girl? Looking into you, right? It's just because it's so off brand for that person. So it just creates brand awareness. When people are scrolling, sometimes when you begin to post that way all the time, they just know. They're like, they just stop scrolling and they know. I know exactly when I happen upon one of Tracy's pictures without even knowing it's her, like just in, like you're scrolling and I'm like, oop, right? Same with Alicia, same with a couple other people. So I encourage you guys to kind of really think about this. And it seems somewhat trivial, and to some extent it is. Now, if you're brand new, I don't want you to get caught up in like, oh, I need like colors that are me, and don't get caught up in that. I'm just saying over time, you begin to be more aware of who you are and your brand. And it's almost like people need permission to still be who they are when they sign on to be a thriver. Here's my advice to you. You are a thriver, but you are not Thrive. You are not Lavelle. Okay. So don't all of a sudden do this weird bait and switch with your audience where all you do now is show up as Thrive on your feed. Still be you. Just be you louder and more unapologetically. And people are going to love that. Okay. And you just sprinkle Thrive in there periodically. Put it in your stories, in your awesome picture. You can see your DFT, or they can see that you're walking around with your lifestyle mix or whatever, right? Like, do you, but just kind of sprinkling in Thrive. All right. One thing I see right away is people just kind of, they just go like, bleh, and they just kind of throw up Thrive all over their timeline. But it doesn't have to be that way. All right. Be you. You have permission. You have permission to be you. Okay. Except don't just be you on steroids, because the world needs more of it. Okay. This is also what is going to make you stand out from the average user on Facebook. Not only that, but you are going to stand out from the other people on their feed. You are going to be you. You're going to be full of life. They're going to be like, what is up with this person? The audacity to be so her. I love it, or to do their thing. I love that. And they're going to be drawn to it. You are going to turn into this magnet. I promise you. Okay. And also, again, it comes with confidence because you're doing the things you love and that you're already really good at anyway. Just keep doing them. Okay. And when that happens, you just, again, that confidence builds and builds and builds. And that is what is attractive. It is not because you are successful with Thrive that makes you attractive. I can guarantee you that is not what makes you attractive. Okay. It is your personality. It is your voice. It is your presence online. It is, we call that posture. It's your posture online. You literally, it's like walking into a room. I want you to think about that. As soon as you kind of open your Facebook, you are walking into a room, like a big party. You are walking into the room. How do you want to walk in? You can walk in all like whoop, quiet and go like sit in the corner, or you can just be like, bam, I'm here, guys. And just walk in and be super confident and just be you. And guess what? You're going to literally find people that like gravitate to you. So I want you to think about that every single time that you log into Facebook. Is it's you kicking in the door to the party and be like, I'm here. Okay. I'm going to enjoy this party. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be the life of it. I'm going to show people a good time, or I'm going to educate people, or I'm going to make people feel some type of way when I get on here. That should be your mission every single day. I'm going to make people feel some type of way. But I want you to ask yourself, what type of way are you trying to make people feel? Are you trying to make them feel loved? Are you trying to make them feel empowered? Are you trying to make them laugh? Are you trying to educate them? Okay. What type of way are you trying to make people feel? I can guarantee the tuna sandwich you're sharing ain't making people feel no type of way. Okay. Or so like, be mindful. When I get on here, I'm making people feel some type of way. Okay. When they get done reading your post, how they feeling? They're feeling great. They're feeling empowered. They're feeling like, man, I was feeling like crap. And then I read Trici's post and now I'm feeling like I can do this. I'm feeling like I'm not alone. I'm feeling like I got this. Or you know what? I just saw a Christian's post, and even though it was only a quote, I just feel like, yes, sister, I'm going to do that. Okay. How are you making people feel? And I can guarantee that is the most powerful brand of all. The most powerful brands are the ones that leave impact after you have bought it, watched the commercial, heard the commercial, something. They create impact because, again, we buy based on feelings, not logic. How many women can attest to that? You buy because of the way it makes you feel, not because of how much damn sense it makes, because Lord knows half things we buy don't make no damn sense. Okay. It's like my husband tried saying, he's like, why do you buy another pair of shoes? I'm like, let's not. Those are fighting words. Okay. So, I really encourage you guys to kind of think about that. Don't get wrapped around the axle about the brand thing. Don't feel like you need to halt production on VIP 800 or 4K or 12K because you're like, Courtney said I need to figure out my brand before I do anything. I just want you to be aware of your brand so that, because here's the thing, you're going to make one whether you try or not. So build one on purpose. Okay. Because if not, you're building one on accident and it may not be what you want. Okay. A lot of people who don't mindfully create brands and they're not aware, people are going to build it for you. And trust me when I say you may not want that. Okay. You may not want other people to build your brand for you because the way they see you may not be who you are. Okay. So being mindful of that, knowing yourself is to know who you're attracting. That's key. And then giving yourself permission to show up as that person all the time and almost just no call it so wrong. That caught me off guard. It's just, sorry, her hashtag caught me off guard. And I just think this is your permission. This is your permission to do it anyway. I don't care if you think it's boring. I don't care if you think it's worthless. I don't care if you think there's nothing different about you, right? I hate people say, well, I'm just a mom. Well, I'm just this. Well, I'm just that. Okay. First of all, you ain't just nothing. Okay. So get that language out of your head, first of all. And I want you to understand that if you are just a mom, you are a mom and that kid is still alive. So you have value to offer. Okay. Even if it is like, y'all, you know how to keep your child alive today? Just feed them. You're good enough. People will love that. Okay. They're going to be like, heck yes, that's the kind of mom advice I need in my life. Okay. I don't need another cloth diaper and mom telling me that this, that, the other, blah, 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 blah. Like, I just need to know I'm doing good. Okay. So again, don't ever downplay what you think is good enough, because I guarantee you the way you say it might be different than the way someone else says it. Or maybe they as in your audience, don't see anybody like that in their group of people. Okay. They need someone like you to show up, because everyone else is too scared to show up as their true authentic self. So please do that. Nothing's wrong with cloth diaper. I'm just saying, like, they're going to be like, I know that I should be doing all those things, but I'm just not. And I just need someone telling me I'm doing good enough. I feel attacked. If I could go back, I'd cloth diaper my kids, but I'm done. So that's kind of it in closing. Know who you are is to know who you attract, knowing what you stand for, putting it out there, being yourself, Toby, being who you are, and just doing it with confidence and doing it over and over again. Because again, it's all about consistency, being aware of your brand. Okay. That's another thing too, is being aware of it, being aware of the thing that you've put out there, the thing that you've built, because you have to be careful about any messages you put out there that counteract that. So, and that's how you can tell that you might not be being authentic to your brand. Okay. Is if you're like, I stand for this and this and this and this and this, and then you post about something else that's literally opposite of that, people are going to be like, whoa, wait a second. I thought you were like, but you're not. So when you're busy trying to be something that you're not, that happens a lot. That happens a lot. You can avoid politics unless politics is part of your brand. Then you're going to, if that's how they do it, that's how they do it, However, if you're positioning yourself as something that's like, again, that's one of those things where if you talk about it, it could be opposite of what you are putting out in your brand. So just being mindful. Okay. That's why you will never see me with a Starbucks cup. I don't care if it's tea or hot cocoa or anything. You will never see me with that, because that's just how I have branded myself. Okay. And just things like that. Okay. So it's like, if I go around and I'm all like, whoa, like talking about it, people are going to be like, Courtney, are you okay? But other people can do it and it's totally fine. Right? Because they haven't branded themselves like that. So it's fine. So just being aware. Okay. I don't want to make this go too much longer, because you guys get the point. Again, I think sometimes people just need permission to be yourself. It's okay. You are not Thrive. You are you. So be you. And you just simply use Thrive. So I want you to post about it just like that. Be you. And then just because you use it, you sprinkle it in there from time to time in your stories, or it's visible in your pictures or whatever. It's only a part of who you are, but show up as you. So I love you guys. After this loads, we'll go ahead and we will download, or upload rather, the last 2 trainings to the YouTube channel by tonight, and then you can find them there. So I love you guys so much. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to our other Zooms. And also, oh yeah, boot camp. That's right, at 7:30. It felt way later than, wow, it felt way later. But all right, so we'll see you at boot camp, and then we'll see you Thursday. So love you guys.